Life is about making choices. From the moment we become aware of our existence to our final breath, we make choices. And the outcome of our choices determines how our lives are going to turn out. When God made first man and woman, he gave them a choice. God put Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and he created two trees. One was tree of life, and the other one of tree of knowing good and evil. And God said, make a choice. And if you eat of the tree of life, you will live forever. And if you eat fruit of the tree of good and evil, knowledge of good and evil, you will die. And God did not hide anything from them, and the choices were clear. Man and woman, they chose knowledge over life. And they wanted to determine what is right for themselves. And they wanted to decide what is right and wrong. In other words, they said to God in the Garden of Eden, we will be the masters of our own destiny. We don't need you to tell us what is right and wrong for us. Now let's fast forward to the New Testament. 2000 years ago, we find another man, the second Adam. He was also making a choice in another garden. It was in the Garden of Gethsemane. It was Jesus himself. He had two options. He had a choice. Either he could choose what he wanted, which was the desire of his flesh was not to die on the cross, this painful, humiliating death. And then the other choice is the will of his Father, which was for him to surrender his life as a sacrifice, as a substitute for the mankind. So he had to make a choice. And we see, after a long struggle in prayer, Jesus makes the right choice. He chooses to let his Father to decide what was right for him. And he yields his will to his Father. He decides to let God to be the master of his life, not like Adam and Eve, who decided that they want to be the masters of their own lives. So Jesus decided that he will let his Father choose what is right for him and surrendered his will to his Father's will. Now, on that Friday, when Jesus was brought before the religious leaders had a choice. The choice was, do we accept the truth that this man is the Son of God? Or do we go along with our envy and our own opinions, and do we hold on to our positions so that he is no longer a threat to us? They had to make a decision. They had to make a choice. They decided to choose their own positions and protect their status, and therefore their choice was to determine that Jesus was not the Son of God. He was not the Messiah, that he should be crucified. Now this Friday, 2000 years ago, was unlike any other Fridays. The religious leaders brought Jesus Christ, the Son of Man, the creator of the universe, to Pilate, expecting Pilate to condemn him to death. And when Pilate questioned Jesus, each time, 3 times he questioned Jesus, each time he came out and he said, I find no guilt in this man. I find no reason to condemn this man to death. But yet, Pilate didn't want to make the decision. He didn't want to set him free because he had a choice whether He wanted to go along with saving his career, his ambition, or go along with the truth. He chose ambition over truth. And therefore, he passed on that choice to the crowd. And he said to the crowd, I'm going to give you the choice. Here is Barabbas, who is a murderer and a robber. And here is Jesus Christ, the King of the Jews, the Son of Man, the Son of God. Who do you want? Now the crowd had a choice, and the crowd made a choice as well. They said, crucify Jesus and give us Barabbas. They chose a robber and a thief over the life that Jesus talked about. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. He came to give abundant life. But they did not choose him. They chose a robber, a murderer. In our lives, we are always presented with a choice. In the stories that I've just shared, except Jesus, everyone else made the wrong choice. And we know the consequences of all those wrong choices. Only Jesus made the right choice. Making the right decision, choosing the right thing, is always hard, it's always difficult. And we know Jesus himself struggled and he prayed and he wrestled with that. And eventually he said, Father, not my will, but yours be done. And when he yielded his will to his Father's will, the outcome was life and hope, a future to mankind. In the same way, when we yield our will to God and make the right choice, the outcome will be always full of hope and a future and life.